What's up, everybody? Welcome back for another episode of Buds, Bros, and Superheroes. So if it's your first time coming to hang out, let me tell you what goes on around here so we can all be on the same page for the episode. The name Buds, Bros, and Superheroes is exactly what you're getting today. 3 conversations pertaining around buds, which is like marijuana kind of talk. You know, I call it traveling the green. Then we're going to go into a bros section where our guest today, new to the show, first time coming to hang out, have a great conversation piece for that, and first time here, whatever we're going to do, I'm going to put a song of theirs on here. It's going to be great. We're almost like premiering a song, I want to say. And then finally, we are going to talk about superheroes, taking a little bit of what I think the show is going to be leaning towards in this section, and not having one thing to talk about as much as many things to talk about. A mukbang, if you will. I don't know if that term only exclusively applies to people eating a bunch of various things. It doesn't really matter, but we're going to talk about a few different things. My name's Nick James. Thanks so much for coming to hang out, guys. Like I said, the guy on the other end of the mic today is the first time here, Austin. Please, man, say hello, and dude, thanks so much for coming to hang out.
Yeah, man, thanks for inviting me. What's up? I'm glad you had me on the podcast and everything. I'm excited, you know.
I'm excited to have you here. We already had some pretty nice flow going before we even got on, Mike. So I think we're going to carry that straight through and give a really good episode for everybody to listen to.
Sounds good.
If everybody's interested in all that, let's buckle up and start the show the way that we always do, which is entering into the bud section. So like I alluded to in the opening there, we're going to talk about some cannabis talk. You not only are a new friend and new to the show, but we're also co-workers together. That's how we know each other, and that's another way the show has kind of been leaning, because it's really been beefing up the bud section in terms of like, we can both really relate to working in a dispensary, obviously, which is becoming a pretty fun topic around here. Just like,
most definitely.
It's almost what I wanted to start off with, if you will. Not so much a, like, let's beat up the customer, but like pet peeves, kind of what's one or two things that you'd maybe change about, you know, if it's somebody's listening first time, what would you say is some solid advice to a first time person visiting a dispensary?
First time, I would say just kind of do your research, know what you're getting into as much as you can before you get there. There's a lot of information anyways, so you know what I mean. People could get the info, just get as much info you can before that, or from friends or whatever, and then when you come in that you have like kind of an idea, because it's like, I could understand like some people just come in and like it is really their first time around any stuff like that, so it's like they actually need some sort of direction, but some people just come in there like have no clue, like as for they been around it, but because it's legal and you have a choice of what you're looking for, they're like completely lost. So it's like, it's good to at least know what you're looking for beforehand. Besides that, I mean, really it would just be don't make multiple orders. Know what you're getting, so you could just make that one order and you're set.
I would say, at the very least, scratch the surface, you know, and I believe, hopefully, even listening to this small little section, we could do that for you in terms of, there's the 3 types, I believe we talked about it before, of the hybrid, the indica, sativa, at least kind of know. I always like to ask the first question of, like, what do you want your medicine to do for you?
Exactly.
That's a question that you should be prepared for when I say be prepared, because when they look at you and they're like, well, what do you mean? It's like, well, like, what do you know, what are you being prescribed for? And then, like, you have to dig a little deeper, which some people don't want to talk about.
Right.
And then it's like, well, I need to know if you don't have nothing for me, I got to dig a little deeper. And that's between you and a doctor sometimes. Yeah,
I usually ask daytime or nighttime relief. It just makes it easier. It's like that way, you know, if you're trying to go to bed, you know, or relax, more nighttime, and then obviously more like hybrid or sativa if you're looking for the daytime. But I mean, like you said, like at least scratch the surface so you kind of like have an idea, and then like obviously the bud tenders and stuff are there for a reason, so it's like there's obviously going to be information you're going to learn at the place too. We learn stuff every day, so it's like people look for answers from us that we don't even know sometimes.
That's the other thing to keep in mind, too. Anybody listening is like, it's still federally illegal, so there has been no research on it to always carry us through. Right. I was talking to somebody about sleep. So there's a bunch of different cannabinoids, but the big ones that we talk about, the one that most people always are, quote unquote, hunting is THC. Yeah. I'm ashamed to know I don't know the actual long term of it. Sorry, guys. CBD is the other big one. You know, if you've got aches or pains or stuff like that, I think CBD is great for that.
Most
Anxiety, it helps with a lot of different things. But the big one that I was just talking about for sleep was CBN. She's like, what's that for? And I was like, ma'am, I'm sorry. I don't even remember the long term for THC.
Right.
I know a little bit of what it does. I know in here it's a 2-to-1. So it'll help with that. I know but why it helps with sleep. I can't go that deep with it. I'm sorry, but I know it is for helping sleep. It's like, why does melatonin help?
Right.
I don't know. It's melatonin. It helps you go to sleep.
Right. So like the only thing I really know about, which I learned, was that CBN is actually expired THC. Like it over the time that THC degrades, it turns into CBN. So it like, well, I don't know, for whatever reason, it just makes you more tired. Like you just forget about some flower or something and then come back to it. By the time it like some of the THC like turned to CBN, it'll probably put you out, you know?
That's actually clicking a lot of wheels for me right now, because when I was learning a lot about growing, when you get to a phase, you're checking trichromes constantly, and you're waiting for a cloudiness to take over.
Right.
And if you've hit an amber, you've gone too far, and it's a point in which you can't come back, where even your strongest, most spicy, racy sativa can still flop into an indica because of what you're talking about. So, wow, okay, thank you.
Yeah, no
Not
doubt.
only bringing that to me, but bringing that to anybody listening. That's a good point to know.
I didn't know that too either, so...
At one point, we had a 3-to-3-to-1, which was 3 THC, 3 CBD with 1 CBN.
Yeah. No, I've seen the tincture, the 2-to-2-to-1. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't really even consider it. But like you said, too, I don't feel like CBN's really that prominent in our program, like the CBN, because, like, even, like, when you go out west or anywhere, like they have CBN gummies and like specifically CBN gummies for sleep.
Nice.
So it's like, it's not just like, it is a popular thing. Just I feel like CBN isn't as popular in our like program right now.
I feel like the entire culture that is our program will do what it has done since the beginning, i.e. be west and move east. So eventually, hopefully one day, because that'd be great too. You know, my grandparents at one point were asking about CBD.
Right.
They're like, well, I don't want to get a card. And I was like, no. Just go to you can go to a smoke shop, man. You know, just look for somewhere that sells even vape oil or shit. You know, next time that you stop for gas, go in there and look at their thing and just be like CBD, and they might have that for you.
Right. The only thing that sucks is that like, it like that stuff, not saying that it's like bad, but it's just there's no percentages or readouts on it, which is a downside. But like hemp derived CBD, or cannabis derived CBD has a lot more health benefits too than just the hemp derived. Like you're getting some THC, but it works a little bit better from the cannabis plant as opposed to the hemp plant. Like the hemp plant is more of like a filtering plant, a material like for us, we could use it as like a material to like replace other things that we use for papers and stuff like that.
If you remember our awesome training, if I'm not mistaken, and anybody can call me out, Declaration of Independence
was probably written on hemp. Yeah,
almost certain.
Yeah.
First pair of Levi Strauss jeans. Levi Strauss? Yeah, I think that's right.
They're made out of hemp.
Fuck, I want to say so. Dude. If not, it's another prominent one. Like there was 2 or 3 that I remembered from that.
Adidas
now the third one
makes some shoes now that are made out of hemp. Like,
so great.
That's pretty cool. You know,
you were at one point as an American citizen, maybe even before America, as a British colony, even here in America though.
Yeah,
like obligated to grow hemp,
right?
Because hemp also at that point was great for sales. Like it's not only great, it was sales. It was all sales, and not only the sales, but the ropes.
Right.
And shipping was everything at that point, because that's the fastest way to do shit at the time, man. Like, so when you had one plant that could make half of that, and then what? All we need is wood, wood and hemp. You know,
exactly.
So, and then at one point, even further down the road in history, the wood people are like, "Fuck that." Let's call it a crazy drug that makes kids all crazy and kill each other and hump.
Farm.
Yep.
Big farm and
Now
the lumber industry are hand in hand, I
That's
guess.
exactly what the lumber industry absolutely fucking squashed it because they're like, nah, wood's better. Let's make paper.
No, that's why I'm saying I'm surprised there's not a lot of like, somebody has to make a company that approaches all of these other, like whoever supplies all these people with their paper products, somebody needs to be the alternative and offer them hemp products for a cheaper price. Like, oh, we could give you this many rolls of hemp toilet paper for this price, and it's cheaper than the lumber industry, like the paper cost. So it's like, if you can make that difference, then I think that hemp will become a bigger thing and destroy those industries. But that's not what they don't want that. You know what I mean?
No, not at all. No, they don't want that at all. They're pretty greedy, like everybody else. But kind of speaking about what we were talking about, I want to talk a little bit more about these papers that you brought, which are hemp papers.
Yeah.
So who are you saying makes them? This is for the hip kids out there, because I might have missed out on who the fuck this person is.
It's a burner. Well, cookies. If it's like a brand of like they grow flour and stuff, they have a whole brand behind them. But he's an artist, Burner, and he just kind of branched off and did his own paper company essentially. And yeah, I mean, they're definitely good products. Like, I mean, I like Raws, but I honestly feel like the variety of vibes, they have a good selection, and I feel like anyone could kind of find what they like. Honestly too, like his branding in general, like he makes quality products, so I trusted it before I got them. And then, like I said, they make like, I can't find them, but they have the Calis. Those are like 2 to 3 gram or 1 gram pre-rolls, 1, 2 or 3 gram pre-rolls. And then they have the 7 gram pre-rolls. So they have a variety. Like, I feel like I like that. I like competition, because like Raw pretty much is like ruling the industry on that end of papers. So like they own pretty much every paper company, like Juicy J's and stuff like that. So I like seeing other paper companies and people like making new ingenious products for like cannabis users, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That Raw guy, though, I have to hate to admit it, he is pretty fun to listen to, man.
Dude, and he's super ingenious, bro. All of his stuff, it's like stuff that anyone could have thought of, but he just like finds ways to use his products. Like, he sells his products to be like he shows you can do this with my product. Like, you don't just have to use it the regular way. And then he sells more products that way. Like, people are like, oh, well, now I could do this with my Raws, or you know what I mean? So it's definitely good marketing too.
He's very, very smart.
And Raw has a lot of different products too. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, and at this point too, past
Raw
products,
is the zigzag of our generation. You feel me? So
I'm gonna put that, dude. If every episode had like a movie poster that had like the tagline at the very bottom, that would be this one.
I mean, yeah.
Raw is the zigzag of this generation.
That's so
funny as fuck.
true.
It's true though.
Yeah.
Dude, everywhere. And like I was like saying, past the products in terms of using.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else has a Raw thing on it. You know, you could buy a bumper sticker, a t-shirt, a hat. You don't even have to use those products to actually then accessorize with some of that shit. Like,
right.
They probably one of the motherfuckers that are making shoes for retail and stuff like that, coming out of like an American Outfitters, or what's the other one? An Urban Outfitters.
Urban Outfitters.
I bet they have Raw shoes there. I'd bet you $1 million.
Probably. Dude. No, seriously. Yeah, it's like you said, it's a brand now. Like,
and it's kind of cool as well.
Yeah, it's bigger than just the baby. Yeah, exactly.
So, fucked up little Raw fact. Any longtime listeners, i.e. my mom, will like have to hear this for probably the 4th time. But like, I like this fact so much. Like, the reason that they don't bleach their papers is because the reason most people started bleaching their papers comes from like the olden days of like fat cats on the street, maybe like the 30s, and they were like throwing their cigars, and poor people would pick up their cigars and roll them in newspaper and make kind of new cigarettes and shit like that. So companies started dyeing their paper, bleaching their paper. So from afar, you could tell it was white. Therefore, it couldn't be a newspaper. Therefore, you didn't pick up somebody's garbage to roll your own. You must have rolled your own cigarette.
Right.
And the Raw guy was like, yeah, we don't do that anymore. Like, the fuck is that kind of nonsense? Like, why would I bleach my paper?
Right.
And that's why they're not white.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
If I'm not mistaken, that could be
That's
one of those
wild.
urban legends that I've just been spreading. But I think I remember it because he was on Kevin Smith's podcast, and he was entertaining as fuck. So I'm
Nice.
almost positive I remember that story to be true. But
Oh, dude,
if not, the internet will eventually hear me and be like, "No, you dumb shit. That's not what happened."
Dude, I used to hate bleached papers like back. That's like old days, but yeah, like back when those were the only papers you could get. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm
It's a
glad
weird
they did
world,
away
man.
with that.
Yeah, there's just entire stands and freestanding
Plus, it's
pieces
probably
of
like
business
low key
just for
addictive or
papers.
something. So
Yeah.
they try to get you hooked on it or something. You know?
just
But-
for papers. It's absolutely crazy. So the
Nah,
last
that
thing I
is
wanted to touch
crazy.
on before we get on out of this bud section is like, even though we're new coworkers to each other, you've been in the business for quite some time.
Yeah.
Wanted to hear about your job. We haven't actually said on the show where we work, actually, so it's
Yeah,
weird.
no.
So we'll just call the other place the competitor compared to the home team, which we're both on now. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, yeah.
What's like some big differences or, just funny shit? I don't know, man. I've
yeah,
always been
man.
curious. I don't know if we've really gotten into it other past inventory.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm the inventory guy at hometown. So, like, you guys had to
Right.
count inventory every night there, right?
Yeah.
Like, front of the house inventory?
I don't think anymore they do, but yeah, it was like inventory every, like cycle counts every night. So counting every product every night. And like, we would start early and try to get it done, but like, I mean, like, not saying that we did as much as hometown does, but like, still, I mean, honestly, it got so crazy. Sometimes it was hard to like manage all of us. Like I said, we would have to help our managers cycle count and stuff. So it was like, it was rough, but I can't say like it was a bad experience. You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot about the industry. I've met a lot of good people. I still have a lot of good friends from that job and stuff. But like, I feel like the way we do it makes more sense. Like I've said in the past. But nah, man, like I said, I think like just in general, the cannabis industry, there's so much good people, dude. Like you really find some great people like that you probably would have never met if y'all just didn't work together or something, you know? But nah, it's definitely a good experience. Like I would say the biggest part was like, the biggest difference was that we ran 2 POSs, so it was like a struggle. Like you would have to ring people up twice essentially. Yeah, so we would have to ring in MJ and then ring in this POS called Leaf Logics. That's where we did our cash from. MJ we didn't do cash from. It was just that just notified the state and told them these are what products went to which patient. So
For
like
the sticker process.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and another weird thing was that for whatever reason, our stickers never printed like our patient number. I don't know if that's a certain thing or whatever. Like I'm saying like my employee number, I meant to say. Like it wouldn't print out my employee number. I'm not sure if ours even do. But they would make us write them on pens. So like if you had 20 items, each item had to get your number on it. I was happy though because my number was my lucky number. So it was 43. So I was
okay,
just
that's not
happy
too bad.
writing that all the time.
Funny if your number was something long, like, like
It was like
0, 1,
like
4,
my
5, 6,
punch
7, 3,
number,
something like that. Yeah, that's what I was
oh
thinking.
My gosh,
Because ours, are you still 4 digits for punch, or did you go for
dude,
5?
I'm like, I think I'm 6.
6 digits to punch in and
Yeah.
out. Oh shit, man! I snuck right into the wire for 4,
Oh,
and I
man.
knew most people had 5. I didn't know you
Dude,
had
I
6.
see some people do them, and I'm like, wow, I wish I only had like 4 punches.
Yep,
like,
that's it. Just it's a 4-digit code. Thank God.
But no, like I was saying, overall, like it was a good experience for what I had to learn and like just getting to know like certain patients. I honestly see a lot of people who went to the other one. I see them up here, like.
I've noticed that. That's one of my favorite things, especially when you first started, because people would like look at you
They're
and then
like-
look around like, "What the fuck am I right now?" And then they'd be like, and you'd be like, "Yes, it's me. I'm here now." And they'd
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, dude, I almost had a damn like."
Dude,
I
for
loved
real.
that for
There's
the
a-
first few days.
There's so much. There's a handful of people at least, dude, that like I remember seeing there, and it's funny because like Like, I was even thinking, I'm like, oh, it'll be nice. Like, you know, I'll probably see some new people, da da da. And then it's like, you start seeing the same people. I'm like, oh man, like, I remember some of these people from the other place. So, but most people are good peoples, you know what I mean? Majority are just coming in to get their stuff and enjoy it after they leave, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it was a good experience.
How long were you there?
So, I'm trying to think now. So, like, I think I started in, like, September, like, the end of August of 21 or 20. I can't remember, to be honest. I think it was 20, because I left my job before that, Wegmans, and then I took the job there. And I was at the Dixon City one for, like, I don't know, probably three months, a little less than that, and then I relocated to the one closer to me, and I was probably there for, I was basically there for like a year. Like, it was just short of a year.
Nice.
Yeah, but it was
That's
cool,
a very
man.
long
Yeah,
time,
it was a good enough time to, like, gain my experience and do what I wanted to do to get to that level, and like easily apply to other jobs and have those opportunities as well.
It was definitely great about starting you here at the
Oh,
hometown.
dude.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm happy, man.
We were like, look, MJ. And you're like, I know what that is. And we're like, yeah. And you're like, yeah, I could do this. And we're like, okay,
Dude.
do you want to grab somebody? And you're like, yeah, what's their name? And we were like, this. And you're like, all right. Like,
Yeah.
I remember that day too. We were
Nah,
just like,
dude.
look at him go. This is
Dude,
great.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I was happy that it was just that simple, because, like,
it really is.
I mean,
yeah.
you guys are, like, super excited, and I could tell, like, that made me happy, because I'm just like, yeah, I'm glad I could be a part of a team again, and, like, that was the fun part about even the other job is, just the team, you know what I mean? All of us just have fun there, you know? That's just what it's about. If you're not laughing at work, then you're just gonna be miserable, like, so. May as well laugh and have fun, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. You know, we kind of
Because-
joshed at the beginning about having quote unquote bad customers.
Oh, yeah.
And that's in any retail job, because that's what happens when you see hundreds of people a day. There are people who show up to McDonald's and
dude,
the menu never changes, and they still go, let me get what would you get? And when people ask me that at work, I'd be like, don't worry about what I'd get, man. But
Plus,
it is great when you go into the back and you're like, can you believe this guy? And everybody's like, yeah, this fucking guy. And you're like, hey, oh, whoa. And we all just kind of just let it roll right off the back. And
right.
then for every one like that, there's 9 people who are just cool, you know, just great people.
Exactly. And I mean, you do get, like, to a point, you do have to realize, like, some of these people are dealing with, like, certain health conditions or whatever. So, like, because we are a medical program, so sometimes people come in a bad mood, and it's not really, they're not really mad at you. They're just, you know, having a bad day or whatever, and they need their medication to relieve some of that. Because, like, the other place, I definitely had some instances like that for sure, without a doubt, like, where it was like, I was able to see, like, that, you know, everybody's human, you know, so you learn that in retail. Everybody has their bad days. Shit, we even have our bad days, like.
But also that's part of the fencing of it sometimes is like,
Yeah.
I won't, no matter how bad my day is or how bad yours is, you won't break me, man. I'm going to sit and smile. Even when you're yelling, I like to look at you like, oh, yeah, man, I totally get that. And it just pushes them further. And I'm not trying to push them further. I'm just, I approach it with a kill them with kindness. Motherfucker.
Dude,
yep,
right on cue. Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's how I am. That's what I said the other day when somebody was giving me a hard time. I'm like, have a good day. You know what I mean? You just got to kill them with kindness, positivity.
Could you imagine if they're like, I want to talk to the manager, and, you know, we know our guy, he comes out.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, is there a problem? He's like, he was very polite. Very polite, super accommodating, and
like,
smiled the whole time. And I found it a little rude. And our manager just be like, okay,
Right.
Well, I'll bring that up at his next review. I don't know, like,
Right.
You polite son of a gun.
Right. No, I think I really only had one bad instance at the other place, and it was just, you know, you have those And obviously, like, my team always knew, like, the person I am and stuff, and they always knew, like, if anything had ever happened, like, if I forgot change or something, like, it was never intentional. So it's just like, shit happens. We're doing stuff all day. We start to lose our mind by the end of the shift. So it's like, especially if it's a day that we're pumping,
30% off store wide,
and everybody's coming to
third person
on a Friday.
I've seen in this last half hour. Correct. Like, you're right. I didn't give you your $1.60 back. I'm sorry. Let me pop this shit open. Like,
no, that happened to me the other day because like I just punched in the wrong amount, and then like I didn't give them back a decent amount of money, but it was like I wish we were able to play back certain things so we could see. Like, we had to rely on other people to do that, so it was like just a hassle,
But all in all, it's a good business.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, if it's great, if you're think you're interested in doing it, definitely do it and try to manifest that happening, because it's what I wanted to do for a long time, but I never knew like how realistic it actually was to do it. And then I put myself in that position, and now I'm like, wow, you could really do anything once you get yourself in this industry. So yeah, it's exciting.
Great words, man. Absolutely fucking great. A perfect
How do you
way.
feel like about just being in the industry? Like,
it's been great. I'm coming up on literally 1 year. It'll be 1 year at the end of, or the beginning of next month.
Yeah.
And like, I
awesome.
did exactly why I left my other job is what I'm getting here.
Mm-hmm.
I've already kind of moved up the ladder.
Right.
Diagonally or horizontally, 2 positions, 2 pegs up, which is the main thing of like me talking to the boss about being like, hey, when are you going to move me up? And him just being like, what do you mean? Like, no, you're the video editor. This is what you do. And I was like, oh, like, I can't have your job eventually. Like, where do I go from here?
Right.
And he was always just getting me by. So like, that was a big reason that I left. And then like the other reason like was, all right, fine, I'm the video editor. Like, you'll pay me more eventually. Like, it's been a year.
Right.
They were like, no. And I was like, oh. Okay, and then like coming up on 2 years, I was like, we're going to talk about that shit, and they were like, yeah. Wow. I was like, oh, I don't trust that. Okay, so see you guys.
I mean, even just that little bump we just got was a nice little touch.
Random
I mean, it
bump?
doesn't matter that much in the grand scheme, but it's like it does because, it's like every little bit, I guess, matters. It's an extra couple bucks a week,
I saw something and it really hit home of like, I'm tired of seeing sign-on bonuses. We need more retention bonuses. I've been standing here fucking dealing with it as you've been scrambling to sign people on.
Bro, we need paid
and that's
lunches.
what I felt that was.
We need paid lunches. Oh, man.
At the company that we were before we got bought out, man, we had that. We had $10 a week that we thought was supposed to be spent on a paid lunch per week per person.
Yeah.
And they were like, that's not what this is, and you need to stop that right now. And we're like, okay. Sorry.
Sorry. My bad.
Yeah. That'd be great, though.
Yeah.
Because even today, apparently, they brought pizza. How sweet was that?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It is nice because, like, that's one thing I will say is, like, when I worked at the other place, too, is, like, there was always food. People, like, managers were always buying us food, or growers were, coming in and getting us food and stuff. So it's always, like, generosity and stuff. It's always good vibes, and, like, everybody takes care of each other. Like, I don't know. That's why I like everybody that I met so far in doing everything, like, especially where I'm at now. Like, I just feel like it's a good flow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody
really
vibes. Like, there's nobody that we're like, like, everybody's just moving.
This fucking guy.
Yeah.
Oh, there's none of that. Yeah, there's definitely nobody, because at other jobs, I think everybody's had that where you're like, fuck. I'm on with Tom right now, whatever. It's like, shit, I'm going to have to deal with Tom today.
I'm going to have to do everything today.
Correct.
Like,
no, there's none of that shit. Everybody pulls
Yeah,
their...
no, that's the nice thing. And, like, I think that's the point. Like, everybody wants to be a part of it. Like, that's why it works.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's fun. I enjoy it.
Nice, man.
Yeah, dude.
Perfect way to end on out of that Bud section. But with that, the way we always end on out of that is asking if you haven't already hitting the like button or the subscribe. I don't know how you're already listening, but that'd be fun to follow. Any of those great things. We are going to end on out of this Bud section and enter into the Bro section where we're hanging out talking about you, your music, and we're going to fucking play a song.
Hell yeah.
So vibing into this bros moment, the thing I wanted to talk about the most is something that you introduced me the last time you were here, is into your music. So I immediately want to dive right into that a little bit. And first and foremost, even though we're going to play a song here, where can everybody go and listen to it?
So you could really listen to it on any streaming service, but I have it on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, SoundCloud. I think I said YouTube already. But yeah, majority of music services. I think my pops was listening to me on Pandora, so I'm pretty sure at this point you could pretty much find me anywhere.
Nice. Now, is that one of those like upload to one thing and it sends it out there everywhere?
Yeah, like I use a distribution service, so like I own all my music. They just submit it to all of these companies.
Awesome.
So it makes it easy. It's just like you just submit your release, and like some companies will make you pay per release, but I don't have to pay per release. So I just pay one yearly fee, and then I could release unlimited amount of music. And they pay me all my royalties that I collect. Like, they keep track of everybody who listens to my music and everything.
That's cool as shit.
Yeah.
Now, not a lot of people listen to this, so I'm sure I can't be at that level of it, but I wonder if Podbean, that's who I guess that's my distributor. I wonder if they would know that. I don't even think I have it set to monetize.
I'm not sure. I mean, to be honest, like, if whatever has to be, we could figure that out. Like, yeah. I'm not worried about that. We'll get it on here in some form.
It's interesting. Yeah. I wonder how that would work. I wonder how that works for anybody on here. Because, there's some people who, where do you think a podcast becomes quote unquote successful? Like 1,600 per episode, 15, honestly, over the 1,000?
Dude, I go by followers. I feel like once you reach like 1K, like you're starting to make a decent following. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, in small steps, like, dude, it could be 500. 500's a decent following. I mean, everybody's focuses on, like, having millions, but it's like, dude, if you have 1,000 people or even 100 people who are willing to spend $100, you know what I mean? It's like you have your niche and your fan base, or however you say it, niche. You have your fan base and the people who are going to spend, like, invest into your product so you can make better stuff. But yeah, no, I'd say that's like, to me at least, that's when I feel like a podcast makes it. Like, once you start gaining that popularity and followers and stuff, like, I think followers are very important. Subscribe.
Thank you. Subscribe. Nice plug there, man. Yeah, that'd be great for everybody.
Definitely subscribe.
Especially on the YouTube, and that'd be great.
Yeah, no, for sure.
How long have you been doing music?
So I started writing when I was like 16, so I'm 26 now, so like 10 years, and then making beats probably like 8 years, 7-8 years, so like 2 years after I started like writing stuff, I tried to like get more into the beat making side of things and producing, so altogether like at least 10 years writing.
So the song that we're about to play here, this is so fun. I like to play at the future.
Yeah.
Comes off your latest album.
Yeah. It's on all streaming platforms. It's Too Ill. I have another project before that was just Ill. So it was like the second installment of it.
I like that. I see what you did there. Clever.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, my buddy helped me with that. Like, he was just like, yo, you should just, because I was going to call it Ill 2. And he's like, dude, just call it Too Ill. Like, that sounds way better. And, like, it makes sense. So I was like, bet.
A double entendre there. Yeah,
exactly.
That was a smart move.
And it was cool because, like, so, like, my project before that, Ill, was 4 songs. The Too Ill is 8 songs. So, like, I kind of doubled up.
That's also very cool. Yeah, 8 songs. That was actually my next question as well. Like 8 songs, that's a lot.
Yeah.
What does that come down to? At least 20 minutes worth of music. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah, probably like 15 to 20, that's somewhere awesome, around that ballpark.
And what was the production time on that?
That took me a little bit to release this past project because, like, at the time, like, there was a lot of songs I had done, but COVID and stuff was going on, and I just didn't want to release a project if I didn't have the opportunity to perform, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah, so I kind of held off for a little bit. And I just dropped that this year. And my past project I dropped in 2020, so it was definitely almost like 2 years off. But yeah, now I'm back. Like, I definitely have stuff planned for the future too. So,
and doing a little bit of live stuff every now and then, right?
Yeah. I did a show not too long ago, like a few months ago, up in Mountaintop, with my buddy. And that was a great time. But that's all I've really done so far for the year. I was supposed to do a show in July, but I was on vacation, so I couldn't end up making it. But I'm hopefully trying to plan some stuff for the future for sure, as well. Like, I know some artists now, so it's like easier to get things organized once I need the artist for the whatever we organize.
Nice. And we were also just talking about like that open slot situation at the B spot there with mutual friend. Like, that'd be a cool thing as well, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I always had a small little hope of like stand-up comedy, and like,
Yeah.
I think that it'd be fun because I personally think I'm funny, but I'm also my target audience. So
Right.
like, you know, I'm a fucking egomaniac. I think everything I say is kind of funny because I'm, again, trying to make me laugh first. And if anybody else finds that funny, good for them.
Right. I mean, I think as
I'd
a
love to
comedian,
use
you
that.
kind of have to have some sort of aspect, like you have to laugh at your own jokes.
A
Like,
little
I
bit.
feel like I'm not confident enough in my own jokes to just be laughing. So, like, honestly, sometimes if somebody laughs at their own joke, I'll laugh just because of that. Even like,
You got to check out Bert Kreischer, then, man. He laughs at himself like nobody else. He giggles at himself, which I just find fucking hysterical because he's a grown man.
Yeah.
And even past a grown man, not to be like too mean or, you know, body shaming or nothing, like a big fat guy as well. Who, and I say this because he takes off his shirt. So, like, there is a big bellied man just sitting up there telling jokes and like,
yeah.
giggling like that.
Oh,
And
I
he
think
just
I know
makes-
who you're talking
The
about.
Machine, some people know him as, you know,
Yeah.
because the story
He
is
has like
that one he went
longer
to-
hair.
No,
then I'm
I'd say
talking
he's
about
almost
somebody
balding.
else.
Yeah, it's-
Yeah.
But he's pretty. You got to look it up when you go home. He's got 2 on Netflix.
Yeah.
The one that I'd recommend is Secret Time. It's his original one for Netflix, and then he followed that up with Hey Big Boy.
Yeah.
Also pretty funny, but there's
Word.
parts in that first one, man, where like when you think about break a leg, he was telling a story where break a leg, you hear people say that, meaning when they say that to you in the comedy business, we interpret it or we infer it as I'm telling you to do something that's bad luck in order to boost your good luck.
Right.
Whereas he told a story in which he knows it to reference, you know, when people are laughing and they're literally slapping their knee and honking their leg up and down, that he learned it to mean that. Break a leg. I hope they're fucking slamming their shit so fucking hard that their leg breaks.
Yeah.
I wonder if, but so when I say it's leg breaking good and that like the first a few times of that, you know, because he just comes out the name of it's Secret Time. So it comes out like Secret Time and he just says 3 or 4 really inappropriate things where it's like, get on board or get the fuck out of the way. This is
He's
what
like,
we're going for.
He set the tone right off. Of
And
it.
then he goes into longer set stories, which is, but there's no,
Right.
once you hear those first 4, like you're either like, no, thank
You're
you.
either acclimated or you're ready to walk out.
Absolutely.
That's hilarious. I'll have to check them out.
For sure. Without further ado, though, I do want to take this time to go ahead and play that song. This is what 100% tell me the name.
It's Sand on My Feet.
Awesome.
It actually features my one homie. He did the background vocals, so I gave him the credit in there, credit where it's due. He helped me write the song too a little bit, so.
That's all that I need. I just need to catch you when you're running from me. Wake up in the that I need. I just need to catch you when you running from me. I wanna wake up in the morning with you right next to me. Wake up in the morning with you right next to me. I wanna wake up in the morning with you right next to me. Wake up in the morning with you right next to me.
So the first time I heard that, we actually played a few songs that night. And ever since then, everything was great. But that is the one that constantly, especially like that opening of
Yeah. Right.
Like I really do. I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass because A, we work together, and B, we'll have to see each other. Like I'm trying to keep it real in terms of like,
I appreciate that.
Super peppy, bouncy, jaunty is a word that I like to say a lot. I don't understand if you can listen to that and not feel cool or feel good. I'd be surprised, man. It's a good one. Where's that come from?
What do you mean?
I'm sorry. Like, what is it? Quite literal in terms of being on the beach brings happiness, or
so like I'd say like when I made that beat, I was definitely getting some like summertime vibes from it, and like you said, that's like what I really started on was those drums. Like pretty much how you hear the beat is basically how I made it. But yeah, I put those drums down, and then I just kind of went with that summer vibe, and the song kind of wrote itself, but I would say that my homie John helped a lot with that. He's not really much of a songwriter or anything, but he was just over there at the studio with me, and I had like a melody in my head, and he helped me finish the song. He just kind of gave me some melody ideas, and I bounced off of it, and then like literally I made that rest of that song that night, so it was pretty sick. I got that one done super quick.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I was in a band for a while, a few different bands all throughout high school into a little bit of college. And so in terms of recording, maybe tops 20 songs.
Right.
And that's over, I don't know how many years, how many different CDs. And that could maybe be really giving myself a hefty scoop. Let's even say 15.
Yeah.
And shit takes a while, but every now and then you get one where you just end it and you just look at each other and you're like, did we just fucking nail that? And it's like, yeah, it's done. Like, we're not, like, let's not even mess around with that right now.
Right. What instrument did you play?
The drums.
The drums? That's awesome.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't even know that. So that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it was a good time.
No
I would
doubt.
say average.
That's why you like that.
Correct. Yes,
I was
no,
like,
absolutely. I hear that shit, and that's exactly what
That's great.
I enjoy it very much.
I like that. Nah, no doubt. Yeah, that one, super simple. Something, I just wanted to be super simple. Just make something relatable and make something that, even though I guess sometimes that song's a little bit sad, it's like a good vibe type of, you know what I mean? It's like, I like songs like that where it's like, it could be a sad song, but the beat is so happy and just brings you up. It's like, it's almost the opposite, but it's like, sometimes it ends up working.
I want to pull something where I'm like, I know exactly, but there was one.
I can't think off the top really, but there's definitely a lot of songs that, like, even like Pumped Up Kicks, yo. Like, it's like, it has such a dark undertone to it, but it's a very like upbeat kind of dancey
again
type
jaunty
of song.
yes
Yeah,
if
exactly.
anything's poppy enough, people will fucking dance to it.
That's the truth.
I like that, and sometimes that's unfortunately my downfall when it comes to music. Like, I wouldn't say I really have a taste or anything. If you can make me dance, like, right, the first thing that comes to mind when I think of jaunty and a little embarrassing is Shake It Off.
Yeah.
Like, that fucking, I guess it would be a saxophone, maybe a baritone saxophone, the I'm sure there's synth, but like, that shit, it slaps. It's awesome. And to this day, if that comes on, I'm turning it up.
No, I hear that.
But then it loses me. I always have to turn off the same place when she's like, this sick beat. That's where I'm like, oh, you took it too serious for a second, bro. Like, we were having such fun and you fucking
just
ruined it.
Yeah,
she does. But up until that point, when that first note hits with that person, dun 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 dun,
Nah, I know exactly which song you're talking about.
Super duper slaps.
Yeah, dude, for real.
And then the
And
other
the
one.
bass, like
Yeah.
that in that song, it was live bass. Like I played the live bass on it, so it just gave that like, because like a lot of my stuff's hip hop, but that gave that song a little less of that like hip hop and more of that like natural feel type of stuff, like more like synth pop or something, like I don't know, just something different.
How many instruments do you play?
I mean, like I would say like I'm more of a studio musician. Like I could just arrange a song. It might take me a little bit, but like I play the piano. I'm starting to get a little bit better with that. I started playing the guitar originally. The bass, like I could play that because the guitar is very similar. And I messed around on a drum kit, but I don't think I'm that great. Like it's hard to keep rhythm. I don't know how people do it. Like you literally got to section off your body and just know what you're hitting in the right rhythm and sequence. Like definitely, because I like finger drum with the pads and stuff, but it's like it's not the same as when you're physically like using your body to drum.
I would agree.
Yeah,
But I like to do both as well.
for sure.
It's just, for me, I like it because it's all counting. If you can
Yeah.
count to 4 and then in multiples of 4, like...
right.
And
Yeah,
that was. I wish fucking somebody told me that was a selling point as a young kid.
yeah.
Because I like to count. I like stuff like that. So
Right.
that's just something that
You're just
growing
in
up
sync
now
with
I got
it.
a little bit more like,
Yeah.
I remember because I was self-taught for a while and then somebody's teaching me and they're like, yeah, it's 4/8 and 16ths. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. Like now I get what I've been listening to and trying to reproduce, but now I'm on 1 and 3 on my feet and 2 and 4. Okay, I got
Right.
this now. Like,
Yeah,
all right.
it's like a grid
Yep,
almost.
exactly.
Yeah, that's how like when I produce stuff, like in the program that I use, it's a grid. So like I punch in where I want the kick and where I want the snare on the 1, on the 2. Like it's all marked out on a grid.
Nice.
Yeah.
So one more time for anybody who not only liked the song but wants to
Yeah.
hear more of it. One more time, where can they find you? Everywhere, all
So
over the internet.
Illegal Siegel, Siegel. You can find me on any streaming platform, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, SoundCloud. Other than that, I mean, you can find me on my social medias at Illegal Siegel, or on Instagram at illegal_Siegel. And you could kind of stay up to date with some stuff that I'm doing. I haven't really been working on anything. I have something in the works, but I haven't really been recording lately. But I'm just trying to get stuff set up because I just finished this project. I kind of wanted to do some videos and visuals, but it's rough. Time runs short all the time. You know what I mean? It's like, it's hard. You got to really plan and really do it. So hopefully, though, I get something done. But the new project I'm really looking forward to. So we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah.
With that, guys, we are going to end on out of this bro section and head into a superhero section where we're going to set a little bit of a different pace and talk about a few different things. All nerdy, though, all fun, all headed at you right now. So for any longtime listeners, we are doing just something a little bit different, not something that we've always strayed away from, but there's no one solid topic. We're going to hit up a few different things. First and foremost, one that's near and dear to my heart that we're just going to kind of talk about a little bit and then move on is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So we were talking about it was a big part of your childhood, though some of the details are a bit fuzzy at this moment.
Yeah. It was definitely something that I had on the regular. I had all the VHSs and everything. Like I said, like all the old toys, those are my favorite. But yeah, I'd say Mighty Morphin was really the biggest part of like what I remember in my childhood. Like I said, it's been so long since I've seen it, but it's just dear in my heart. Like it just reminds me of my childhood.
Absolutely. So of the original 5, no, even of the original 6, and 6 being Tommy, so we can go green or white, whatever. Who was your favorite?
blue. I forget his name, but yeah, the Blue Ranger. Yeah, he was always my favorite.
Fucking rock and roll.
Blue was always my favorite color when I was younger. So
nice.
Yeah.
Billy Cranston was played by David Yost there. That's his name. And the cool thing about him is he was the only one to be the Triceratops, to be the Blue Ranger all throughout Mighty Morphin into the Ninjetti.
Right.
And then when Zeo happened, he bowed out of having any Ranger powers. But, you know, we had the original 3 people leave, who was Red, Black, and Yellow. They left.
Right.
New people came in. Pink eventually got switched out. And Tommy Oliver, he wasn't original. He wasn't one of the original 5. So he's the only one to make it all the way through. And then he went all through Zeo, too, at the end of this. No, all through Zeo? No, maybe to the end of Zeo. I don't know. I'm a little fuzzy on that one, too.
No, you're good.
There was alien ranges at one point, and he went to a different planet, and he was like, I'm happy here. Peace out, guys.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even David Yost. It was this guy who like didn't look like him or sound like him. And at one point, they're like, we love you, Billy. We'll miss you forever. And it turns to his girlfriend, who he's staying with, essentially, and he's like, he's so overwhelmed, he doesn't know what to say.
Right.
Like, they didn't even have a line for this guy. It was a little sad. But at the very end, during the credits, they give a Billy montage.
Nice.
Sorry to overrun you with Power Ranger knowledge.
Dude,
but
that's cool. I mean, honestly, I didn't know a lot of that. Like I said, too, like, I feel like I got to do some research now because I haven't been into it in so long. Like, as for, like, really haven't picked it up since my childhood. Like, it was something, like, I probably still have the VHSs still somewhere, but, yeah, I mean, I really haven't picked them up since... You know what I mean? Since I was really young, so
you got to search your toys, man. If you find a bin of that, you could trade that in for.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Cash.
There's definitely some toys. I don't know if my mom got rid of them or anything, but I know for a fact they did have them. Which, yeah,
they were great.
Even just to have them. But yeah, I mean, if they're worth something, then I'll pass them on to somebody who's really gonna take care of it and value it.
I mean,
you know,
I just might think of somebody.
Dude, no doubt, bro. I mean, I'll let you know if I have something.
That'd be so fucking wicked. Again,
For
just
sure.
even play with some of them.
Oh,
it's
dude,
just much fun recollecting. And just, we even had the auto morphing heads up there. Anybody who can remember, there was once a time where these figures, you hit their button, their belt, and the head flipped from inside their chest so they could put on the helmet.
The coolest thing ever, bro.
It really, truly was.
That's what I'm saying. Like, still seeing that now, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, now there's probably... Is there Power Rangers going on now, really? Yeah, so I'm saying,
it's still
like,
going, absolutely.
The toys probably now for those things are probably crazy, you know what I mean? Not as crazy.
As hope for. No.
Really?
So, like, right now, in my opinion, there's a few levels of markets. So, like, that toy was made purely for that toy's sake, if you will.
Yeah.
Now there's toys being sold for the people watching it, which is generally younger kids. There's upscale toys for people like me who still keep up with it, but also can pay a little bit more for more figurable, more posable stuff.
Right.
Maybe take off their heads and you can switch out between Ranger mode and different hands and shit like that.
Right.
And then there's the third market that I'm currently in of like, can I have all the old stuff, please? And that's a whole wicked market in and of itself of like trying to find people like, because this shit, like we were talking about, that one right there is from 1994.
Yeah.
That
Do you
to me
remember
is
the
crazy.
real tall ones?
The real tall ones.
Like, they were probably like 3 foot maybe.
No.
You take the mask off, I'm pretty sure.
Whoa.
I don't know, like, I thought my buddy had one of those. Like, I mean, I definitely had ones like that, like 3 foot that were like just, like play toys, like stuff. Like, me and my brother used to beat them up or wrestle with them or whatever. But
so bigger than that one even.
Yeah, like, they would be like more soft. Too, like, it was like almost like a pillow material.
Oh, okay.
Like, but I think they did have bigger scale, like actual like figurines. Like, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll have to double check, but I could swear I remember somebody having those back in the day. They were super neat. Like, all the Power Ranger toys were the shit back in the day.
Damn. Actually, right now for Hasbro Plus, I think until the end of the week, they're announcing a new something every something. Sorry to be such a
No, that's awesome.
That,
I mean, I like that.
That's who made the Blue Ranger helmet, so I'm looking for some sort of knowledge.
That's
Not that I'm in a
sick.
place, like, I sent a video recently. It was pretty funny to my mom. And it was like, people look at me buying expensive shit and they think that I have a lot of money. bitch, I'm just irresponsible. And that's how I feel during this
Just
whole
a
week.
kid at heart,
please
dude.
don't release anything awesome.
Yeah,
I can't
no.
take it right now.
Dude, that's for real. Like, honestly, you don't think about it when you're younger, but like how much toys we probably had we'd be making some bread right now off of like.
Even just for me, I just wish I could have held on to one or two things just to hold. Like one of my most prized possessions is eventually we go from Mighty Morphin to Mighty Morphin to Zeo to Turbo to In Space. So that was in around 98, 99. So I was 8 or 9 years old, and their morphers, so almost like all the other ones up until that point, was roaring on the wrist.
Yeah.
You open it up, there's a keypad, you hit the numbers, and it says it. I bought that toy off the shelf, and it's the same one that's in, like, I've had that this whole fucking time. And it still makes the noise and everything.
That's awesome. Dude.
It is. So
That's cool.
there must have been other stuff, because I see it on that Mercari that we were talking about, that third website for selling shit. I'm like, I'm almost positive I had this. Like, should have just shoved it in a Ziploc. But at the point, like, I was too cool for Power Rangers.
Yeah, you don't
so it had
think
to be
about
put
it.
at the wayside because I was in 6th grade and girls wouldn't like
or
me.
your parent or
and then
your
I found
mom
out
would
it
be
didn't
like,
matter what I liked. They still wouldn't like me,
right?
Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say, or your parents are like, "Are you getting rid of your old toys?" Da da da.
There's
and
a
then
lot
you're
of
like,
stuff in here.
Ah, shit. Like, I guess I gotta get rid of these Power Rangers. You know what I mean? Deep down, you're like, low key, don't really care too much, but like, you're like, damn, I still love these. But you're like, I don't know. They just end up going at some point or whatever, but you're not really thinking about like the worth of them, like how much. I mean, plus depending like how much you played with them and stuff.
I was
were
just
probably
about to
beat
ask
up
you.
and stuff. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
With no dirty innuendo, for really what it's worth. Did you play with yourself a lot as a kid?
Yeah. I mean, I used to have like Tonka trucks, dude. I used to have everything, bro. Like, I mean, I was into a lot of shit, but definitely like, I would say probably around 4 or 5, I really got into like the Mighty Morphin, and then I just steadily watched it. Like I said, my mom bought me like all the VHSs and everything, so it was just something I'd rewind and play it back. You know what I mean? Having to wait to play it back like on the VHS.
I asked because I specifically remember having this memory that will lead us into our second kind of nerdy topic for the superhero section of being maybe a little too older. So the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire came out in 2001, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm in and around 11, and they're releasing merchandise just left and fucking right. And I had 2 or 3 pieces from one toy line that I can't name, but maybe they were McFarlane's. I don't know. They were hyper detailed, but not Tobey Maguire exactly. And I bought these ones specifically because they came with a book inside, which I loved. And then it also came with like a little piece of plastic to stand them on and put them in the shed.
Yeah.
But I remember being like 11 or 12 going, psst, psst, like making the whip noise and thinking to myself, oh my God, if my friends saw me, I could not be cool again. I'm like almost in the 8th grade now and shit like that. But I was playing with myself, again, no dirty pun intended, for a very long time of like making stuff up and playing with action figures and putting that shit away real quick of like, no, just that was there. Or well, let's watch skateboarding videos. Yeah. Drink Monster.
Right. Nah, I definitely feel that.
But when we were first kind of originating what we were going to talk about, you were like, have you ever done like just a supervillain? And you brought up bringing up the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
I found that interesting and at least want to shove a little bit of that into the section. Like, why him? What do you think?
I don't know,
of? What's
like
up?
how you mentioned the Spider-Man from 2001, like that to me is always just like a staple, like it's just a classic movie. And I don't know, like the Green Goblin always intrigued me. Like when I was younger, like he was just somebody who like, even his suit and everything, like I just thought he had a really cool suit and everything. I don't know. He was definitely one of my favorite supervillains back in the day too. Still is. Like I just like his character. Like I feel like he's very kind of mysterious, you know what I mean? Like besides knowing who the actual person is, you know what I mean?
Did you watch the animated show at all growing up?
I can't say I did, to be honest.
That's where I got a lot of my first one. That's why I asked. Just curious.
Yeah. No, like I've really only seen the movies, but I haven't seen the most recent one. I heard the animated one was good too, though. I didn't see that one either. Like the newest animated one.
If you watch that, I could send you home with a disc and you can watch it like that. Into the Spider-Verse.
I think I have. I think my mom has it on DVD, so she's been telling me like she has all.
Metal.
My mom buys all like she's always watching movies and stuff. So, but yeah.
So your mom's a collector then of DVDs of all like nerdy stuff, or just of,
I wouldn't
like,
say she's a collector, but we definitely like. She always like. She liked watching movies as much as we did as kids, and she liked watching those movies with us. So she would honestly be the one to be like, "Yo, who's watching this tonight?" Like, or whatever. You know, we'll still watch some stuff on TV every once in a while or whatever. But yeah, back in the day, we used to. Back in the day, we used to go with the VHS, and she'd be sitting there. Or, like I said, once DVDs came out, too, she was still... When new movies would come out and finally be on DVD, she would get them and stuff. Or for, like, Christmas and stuff, we'd be getting them, so...
Same. Yeah, I remember a lot of them just wanting DVDs, and they'd be like, which ones? And I was like, any.
Right.
I don't care. You know, that's another thing. You know, speaking of the more from what I've kept, like, my DVD collection has been something I have been... making since I was like I don't even know how old, so now it's vast as fuck.
This is a sidetrack, but if I'm not mistaken, I think I have like a Tremors collection, like, which is pretty dope.
How many of those?
I think there was like 5.
There's quite
more
a few,
than that,
right?
5 or 6. They kept making more, but I think I have at least the first 3 like in a set. Like,
it's such a niche kind of love of a movie, man. I love that you brought that up. And you're like, fucking, I love Kevin Bacon. I'm like, nobody says that much anymore, man.
It's crazy.
You got your Footloose crowd, and that's about it.
I was gonna say, if you watch, they have a documentary kind of on YouTube. Like, if you just look up Tremors, it's like a behind the scenes thing, and he talks about it. He's like, yo, I thought my career was like on a downfall, and he was like, I was taking this weird movie that was like, you know what I'm saying, taking this weird role, but for me, like, that to like, even now, like, that's a movie I'll always go back and watch when I'm in the mood for it and stuff. Like, they're always good movies, and for how low budget and stuff they were at the time. So,
well, they did the smart thing, if you ask me, the Spielberg thing, almost the Jaws thing of like, let's not show it a lot. You know, the only special effects they needed was just something under the ground to show something crawling, and not until very key moments do we show you what that is. So
that's totally true.
It's pretty brilliant,
right?
They're good. They're not some of my favorites. I'm so attracted to the fact that you like them so much. You're like, fucking Tremors.
Dude,
like, who's on the Tremors train? And it's like,
bro.
me, I'm Austin. I'm driving that train, man.
But
I would love to know, is there like Tremor cons and stuff like that? You
Probably,
know? That's
dude.
awesome. You got to look into it.
Go to that.
You got to. I would love to have you go and come back and be like, Nick,
that was
it was
sick,
dope. Yeah,
dude.
exactly.
But so like, still talking about Green Goblin, but like, what's your favorite supervillain, or who would you say like would be one of your favorites
of all time?
Yeah, or like maybe of your childhood, whatever you feel like. If that's of your all time, like the one during your childhood, like, I don't know, but whatever you feel like is really your like favorite supervillain.
Oh man,
that's very general, and that's a
I'm
hard
going to narrow
one.
down just for time's sake and stick within the Spider-Verse, because next to Batman, there is nobody hands down who's got a better rogues gallery of just constant people. Maybe the Flash, but the Flashes are all kind of dopey. You know, they all want to steal for like, just because shit, my rent is due. You know, that's what makes them kind of everyday managed. But like, in terms of pound for pound, person for person, memorable villain, Spider-Man and Batman are the two.
Right.
Because Spider-Man wise, man, it's got to be Dr. Octopus.
Nice.
Just super duper fun. A, great name. B, great concept.
Yeah.
And then across all mediums. So I grew up with the Spider-Man animated, and every time I think of him, I think of that strong German accent, and he's coming around and he will lift you and stuff like that.
Right.
Another fun fact about that show, if you ever go back and watch it, they don't throw punches. They weren't allowed to be violent. So every time Spider-Man does something, it's more like jujitsu. He takes in somebody's punch and throws them or webs them up or shit.
That's funny.
And then when Alfred, what the fuck is that guy's last name? Anyway, the guy who played him in the second Raimi movie of the ones that we're talking about, he's awesome. And that's one of the top comic book movies ever made, in my opinion, is Spider-Man 2.
Nice.
And then he came back for that new one that we kind of hinted at earlier. And I'm just like, hell yeah, dude. So Dr. Octopus is really well. On the other side, then, who's your favorite Batman villain? How do you fuck with Batman, if at all?
I mean, I like Batman. I've definitely seen some of the movies. I honestly, like, personally, just the actors that they choose and everything, like, personally, it might just be cliche to say it, but Joker, just because of, like, at least in the movies, like, everyone who I've seen act him has done, like, phenomenal job of, like, portraying, plus, like, there's a lot of backstory to his character, so I feel like we're constantly learning new things about Joker, like, evolving through the stories that they put out and stuff like that, you know. So
yes,
I mean,
there is no one backstory. There's constant evolving of them. Yes, even multiple Jokers showing up at one point. Like, it's pretty fucking cool.
No, for sure.
From there, I think our last one that I definitely wanted to touch on, and it was funny as I was looking at the calendar too, we were talking about maybe even making this the whole one, maybe next time though. Like, you grew up watching a lot of Avatar as well?
Yeah, I used to watch it on Nickelodeon all the time. It was one of my favorite shows. I wouldn't say, like, there was a lot of shows I was watching, but Avatar was definitely up there for sure. That, speaking of that, like, I don't know, I've been kind of, like, getting more into anime and stuff, which is cool. Like
what?
There's this one that I've been watching. It's called Jujutsu Kaisen. It's like just came out recently in 2020. It's like, I guess it kind of reminds me of like Naruto, but there's like, I haven't finished it yet, but there's like a pretty decent backstory. But I still like, I have to go back because like as a kid I watched the Dragon Balls, all like majority of them, but I wanted to go back and touch up on those too. But yeah, like definitely Avatar: The Last Airbender, like. This is a side one too, but you see they're dropping a new Avatar movie as well. Like Avatar.
The Blue Cat people, yeah. We're finally getting a sequel to that, and that looks really
random,
great.
But yeah, no, Avatar.
I only just wanted to say, I'm not trying to be rude, I wanted to look up because the Dragon Ball you're talking about, not only did you watch it as a kid, fucking everybody must be watching this, because as of today, it is the #1 film in the U.S., $20.1 million in the U.S. box office.
Jeez.
Nope, not as of today of this recording, 2 days ago, but fucking hey, this week, guys, this month even, like,
it's still relevant.
Hell yeah, it's still relevant, man.
Dude. And
good for them.
Growing too, like, and like, I feel like, well, that was like, not the it was one of the more of the original anime.
In my opinion, in America, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, of what we know, yeah, exactly.
Of what we know today as what American anime is, I would have to absolutely perfectly say that yes, it is the forefather, the groundbreaker, the one that everybody was like, have you been watching this shit? It's pretty fucking cool.
Right.
That's how I started, for sure.
So if you were Avatar, what power would you want to have?
That's what I was going to ask you. I think 100% an earthbender.
An earthbender?
Yeah, man.
Shit, dude.
There's earth everywhere, right?
I know. I think actually me and Brad the other day were talking about something like this, but I think it's hard to say. Like, I think I would say water. Water would be cool. I don't really know, like, there's so much you could do, probably, like, just be like Aquaman, essentially, you know what I mean? But yeah, Earth, I think, would be cool as well. Dude, they're all cool, you know what I mean? Like, fire bending, like, bending fire, but...
Now, to dive into it a little bit more, then, if you chose water, what sub-bend would you want to go from there? Would you want to move to ice or blood bending? Remember that shit that you can blood and you can puppet people?
Yeah.
That's hardcore.
Yeah. I don't know. I would probably go for the ice. I think that would be pretty sick. Just be shooting icicles or something.
Hell yeah.
Or just like being able to make a wall of ice. Yeah.
Absolutely. Maybe a little Iceman even. Hell
right,
yeah.
Dude.
I feel like
I think that would be cool. What about you?
So the sub bendings then for Earth, I could either do lava
Yeah.
or I was going to say aluminum, metal.
Right.
And lava has me confused on a few different points of how they portray it on the show, so I don't really know how it works. Is there lava everywhere? How deep is it? Like, there's an entire Earth crust. Don't know where it comes from. I know it's a television show about cartoons and fake shit.
Right.
However, it doesn't click with me. However,
Yeah.
metal, when they described it, it was first time that we saw it was on the episode The Guru in season 2. The Guru teams talk about even metal is just refined small pieces of earth, and it's tough. Banging on that cage she's in, and eventually she hits it and she crunches it and she shakes her wrist and she's like, "Tough, you rule!" And then she rips it open. Like, I don't know. So for that reason, in a long-winded answer, I'd probably go metal because A, it's metal, and B, in this now world that we truly live in, like I can rip a car in half. You know, I can take down a steel skyscraper or shit like that.
Anything.
Like, metal is everywhere anymore.
Yeah, I feel like, honestly,
I can crush a phone in my hand because it's...
Yeah. No, I think you have it right with Earth, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know. Or you could just eventually get all three.
Be an avatar yourself.
Be an avatar, yeah, dude. I would hope to.
Because if I had to then flip the other one, which coincidentally is the very opposite of that element, would be air.
Right.
Because A, travel would be, oh man, ready for this pun? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Travel would be a breeze. Ah, good one, man. That was a fucking good one.
Break a leg.
That was a good one. He's got an air glider, he being Aang, and like that seems super duper fucking cool.
Dude,
just
you can
like,
make a tornado. Dude.
You know how
You
close
could
I
do
am to
it.
work. It'd be 2 minutes. Whoop, right over.
Man, it'd be like Superman.
Make a tornado? Yeah, exactly.
Bro, you could use your Earth with the air and just float on a piece of Earth. You remember Tao? General Tao from Dragon Ball? The original?
No, see, that's
He's the
Dragon Ball,
dude
the
who used to-
original, makes me a little sketchy in terms I don't really remember.
He used to take the log and just throw it. That's what you'd be doing, like, and he would follow it and just ride it all the way to his destination. Like, he was that strong that he would just throw like a big ass timber and just jump up on it, and that's how he would get location to location. And when he would land, it would just stick into the ground. That's how he would land.
That's
like,
fucking deep cuts, man. I'm happy to hear
dude,
that. That's hardcore. That's
dude,
cool.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's almost like what you would do if you had Earth and air, dude. You could just float on a piece of Earth.
Now, what's funny is, would you in any capacity want to do fire?
I think so, yeah. But I mean, I don't really see how it's as effective. Like, what would be cool is like water is like, this is just me thinking deep about it, but it's like, dude, we don't even know the ocean, so having control of it, dude, like I would be able to discover things or like be able to, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It would just be cool to have those powers. Like, I don't see where fire, like, besides like being able to like you said, a volcano or like maybe below the earth, but like you said, I don't know, fire really, I feel like doesn't take you as far, or like maybe not. I'm just saying in general, like
in this world too, you know, if we're translating from that one to this one, having electricity basically takes away the two main sources of fire, heat and light source. So already the two big things that would have definitely helped them in their times, because they only, up until Avatar, we're not talking Korra, just Avatar, had steam.
Yeah.
Which is again a product of fire. So like that's as far as they're going technologically. They're still lighting lamps. They're still heating via wood and shit like that. So having that power, then I could see being like, oh, this is very
there's
very helpful.
not much fire.
However,
around.
now like if I sneezed and then my curtains went up, like now what am I going to do? Like I cannot see that shit being good in this environment of what I need it for. You know, I have
just
a stove.
channel that chi. Yeah.
There's nothing that I need. This world has figured that out. In that time, I could see it though. But if we're in terms of standing in lion turtles, which one's going to grant us the power?
Right.
No, I'm not standing in front of the fire one. That one would go last. In terms of my list, I think I'd go earth, air, water, fire. You?
Water, earth, air, and fire.
Fire's the last one. Yeah.
Because like I said, I don't know. I feel like how much can you do with fire anyways? Like I said, you could shoot fireballs or whatever, be able to do whatever you want. I guess in combination, it'd be cool. You can make like a fire tornado if you want or some crazy shit. Like
Again, the only cool thing that I could think about is if society goes down, you're set.
yeah.
You know, because even their
could just
subgenre from there
survive.
is electricity. So
Yeah.
maybe if you had a generator, I could charge that thing. That's something actually we see in Korra.
Right.
An entire job of a firebender is literally just channeling electricity and filling generators.
Right.
So that works in a today kind of society
Yeah.
of shit you can do.
Nah,
You know,
that'd
if
be
you,
sick.
I could set up this entire house and all I'd have to do is go out and do a few hours of firebending right into it, and I have free heat, light,
Yeah.
everything.
It's like some RuneScape grind right there.
You can definitely go off the grid with that.
It's just like some
Absolutely.
RuneScape grind.
That'd be cool.
Be outside for like 5 hours just doing the same task.
Yeah,
Like,
literally just and just doing that for a few
be
hours.
tired.
Hell yeah. Probably break a sweat.
Yeah, nah, that'd be sick though. I would love to have some powers like that.
Oh, dude, all the time. That was me also, you know, as we're talking about little shit and like stuff we did as a kid. Even now, it's a little bit less now, but I would try for superpowers all the time. I would just jump, like hoping one day I'd fly. I would
Dude,
move
yeah.
and look at shit like,
Dude, I still wish I could fly, dude.
Yep, all the time. That
Or
would be
the
so
Force.
cool.
Like
Yeah.
you said.
Even if it was like physically taxing to fly,
Right.
like running, you know, if I had to get good at it,
Yeah.
get in shape to do it, it'd even still be worth it. And it
Right.
doesn't even have to be too high, like 20 feet, 30 feet tops.
Yeah. That's why
That'd
they
be
got
cool.
VR now.
Yeah. Because I also
You
wouldn't want to
just-
go so high.
You
Like,
could
what
have
if I
the Force
fell?
in VR.
Yeah. Have you
just
ever
play
done
like a
anything with those things on? Like, you're talking about virtual reality, right?
Yeah.
I've never worn those goggles or nothing.
I want to get one, but my buddy has one.
Scares
They're
me.
pretty neat. Like,
Yeah.
I was surprised. Like when I did one on the PlayStation, it gave me motion sickness. But the one, like the actual ones that you buy, that are like their own separate thing, or like one that connects to a PC, they're smooth. Like it was cool. I think like a Star Wars game would be sick in that shit. Dude.
Nice. You fuck with Star Wars?
Yeah, yeah. Star Wars is a good one too.
Nice. Let's drop that as a hint for your next time on here,
Yeah,
man, because I would
dude,
love to talk
Star
about some
Wars.
Star Wars. That'd be cool, man.
Yeah,
Even
nah.
now to know that we could talk about
Plus,
it tomorrow
then
at
I
work,
could
it's like,
brush up.
yeah.
Then I could definitely brush up on some stuff because me and my brother were watching it a few weeks ago, but I would like to go back. I want to watch them in order, like as for like chronologically.
Thank you. I was going to say, what do you consider order?
Yeah.
How would you watch them?
Because like I like the
episode
OG
number?
way, like the OG way where it was 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
7, 8, 9?
Yeah,
can go all the
7,
way up?
8, 9,
Alright.
exactly. But that's another thing too. I have to watch that newest one.
But you haven't
like-
even finished the Skywalker saga then. You haven't done 9?
No, dude, that's what I'm
Interesting.
saying. So like,
well, let's do a full review. That'll
I
be
could
fun.
even watch them all the way in chronologically till I get to 9 and then end it on 9. You know what I mean?
That's
That would
pretty
be
fucking
sick.
gangster. Hell yeah. You would be the most authoritative figure on the subject matter by the time you got to the end to understand
Nah,
exactly
yeah.
how it ends. So that'd be cool.
Dude, that's another thing. Yeah, we could talk about that another time because the universe in Star Wars is just how we were talking about earlier, like an ever expanding, like in Batman, like or Joker, like to Star Wars. Just it's still relevant today too. Like it's another one. Like yeah, Star Wars is sick.
Since
My
77.
parents grew up watching Star Wars. Like my
Yep.
mom loves Star Wars. Whenever they come out with a new one, she's always trying to go see it. So. But yeah,
Trying to meet your mom, dude. Me and her just gonna
dude,
hang out
I'm
and watch
telling
movies,
you, bro.
I think.
Yeah,
And
dude.
look at our Gopher friends, which is a deep cuts joke, but we know it.
Nah, yeah. R.I.P. But there's
Yeah.
still. She said there's a mama and a
I was
mama
telling
and a
Meg,
baby.
there's a baby, isn't there?
And
All the
they're-
babies
yeah,
cute.
dude, that's what
All
I'm
right, guys,
saying.
I gotta let everybody know really, really super, super quick. Across from where we work, there is a place that his mom works. And like for the longest time, we both unknowingly were tracking the same gopher, and then it died, and we were really sad. And now we know there's a baby and a mama. There you go.
Yeah.
Fucking
There's
love
always
those
a happy
gophers, man.
ending,
I love
so.
those gophers. I was just
Dude.
telling Meg, I was like, I think one's a baby because it doesn't stay out to say hello. Like if it sees you, it goes right in. Meanwhile, the mom will still like side eye you, like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm standing here. But then if you go to approach, it goes right in.
Right.
So I don't
Dude,
even
the
approach. I literally
groundhog-
just stop and I wave it. And I'm just like, "What's up, girl?" And then it
The groundhog though, I haven't seen him. I don't see
Oh,
him
Outback?
anymore. Yeah.
yeah, that one I haven't seen in a while.
I don't know. He relocated or something.
They're quick.
He's
I think
scared.
that one's really down by the one, like, because behind the other place, there's a guy who comes and feeds them corn. I think he's in there now.
He's luring them
like
away.
a little bit past the dumpster.
Yeah. Dude, he scared me one time, bro.
I came out that back door and he was looking at me and I looked at him and I literally like anybody who doesn't know, that's the best I'm going to do. If you surprise me, I'm just going to make an awkward noise and hopefully you don't attack me. Well, sir, this has been fun. This has been
man,
almost too much
time.
damn fun. Yeah, thank you so much. I know you just worked a full day. You got to get home, get some sleep, and be back at work in just a little bit.
Yeah, dude.
My
no
bad
doubt.
for keeping you so long, but I appreciate it. I really, really do, man. Thank you.
Dude, you're good. Thanks for having me, man. It was a great time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Definitely have you back for another episode. It'll be a good time.
Without a doubt.
Anybody on the other end, if you haven't already, we've talked about it more than once, but it'd be really cool if you can click, subscribe, like, all those fun things. Not only on this Buds, Bros, and Superheroes podcast, but one more time, sir. We played a song in the middle of the podcast. If you're catching us at the very end, go back to the middle, listen to the song, and if you like the song, follow you where?
At Illegal Siegel. Illegal Siegel. You can find me on all streaming platforms. And also find me on Instagram at illegal_Siegel. Other than that, I mean, you could just keep up to date. I'm definitely going to be dropping some new stuff, so just keep up to date. You can find me on social media.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you guys on the other end. If you can't do any of that stuff, though, in terms of the internet, at the end of the day, a podcast really can be supported by one thing, and that's word of mouth. So if you have a friend who likes Buds, Bros, and Superheroes, well, I got a fucking show for them. I have been Nick James, joined by
Illegal Siegel.
Buds, Bros, and Superheroes are out of here.